The suspected leader of a Philadelphia carjacking ring has been arrested for 2 murders. Jonathan Abuku, suspected of leading a carjacking operation, has also been charged with committing 2 shootings and may be connected to dozens of other incidents. Jason Smith, captain of the Philadelphia Police Department's Homicide Unit, speaks during a news conference Tuesday, providing details about the arrest of Jonathan Abuku on homicide charges. Abuku is suspected of being part of a local carjacking operation. Jason Smith, captain of the Philadelphia Police Department's Homicide Unit, speaks during a news conference Tuesday, providing details about the arrest of Jonathan Abuku on homicide charges. Abuku is suspected of being part of a local carjacking operation. A 28-year-old man who police say led a loosely organized carjacking ring has been charged with committing 2 murders and 2 shootings as part of a weeks-long crime rampage, and investigators are probing whether his group is connected to dozens of other crimes. Jonathan Abuku of Drexel Hill was arrested Saturday in connection with the fatal carjacking of a 60-year-old man killed February 6 in northeast Philadelphia. He is also charged with killing another man, a 28-year-old car locksmith, less than a week later in the city's Eastwick section. Detectives used ballistics and cell phone records to connect Abuku to at least 5 incidents in the last 2 months. He was arrested at an apartment in Lansdowne, where police found a stolen handgun and an AK-47 style rifle. Abuku is so far the only defendant charged in each case. Homicide Captain Jason Smith said Tuesday that investigators believe his carjacking operation targeted Toyota SUVs and involved at least 3 other people in their teens or early 20s who are at large. Detectives were reviewing as many as 40 cases for potential links, law enforcement sources said, and were also investigating the possibility that some of the stolen vehicles that have not been recovered were shipped overseas. Officials declined to comment on that theory during a Tuesday morning news conference. But they cast the case as an important example of law enforcement working together to address the city's gun violence crisis. To all those who seek to sow chaos in our city, said Mayor Jim Kenney, let today send a message that we simply cannot and will not tolerate these acts of violence. Abuku is being held without bail on a litany of charges including multiple counts of murder, aggravated assault, conspiracy, robbery, theft, and illegally possessing firearms. He did not have an attorney listed Tuesday. Carjackings have risen sharply in the city, with 203 reported through the first 7 weeks of the year, according to police statistics. That's nearly 7 times as many as were reported by the same date in 2020 and more than in all of 2017. Other cities, including New York and Chicago, have also seen carjackings soar. Police have said they believe many incidents appear to be crimes of opportunity, with cars recovered shortly after they're stolen and likely used in joyrides or other crimes. But in some instances, authorities have said, newer cars have been stolen and not recovered. And investigators were looking into potential connections between the thefts of a handful of Toyotas in northeast Philadelphia in recent weeks. Commissioner Danielle Outlaw said Tuesday that police have created a task force dedicated to investigating carjackings and are collaborating with state and federal authorities. I refuse to accept that what's happening here is okay, she said. Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw spoke during a press conference at the department headquarters on Tuesday. Local and federal law enforcement officials announced the arrest of Jonathan Abuku, suspected of being part of a local carjacking operation. Smith said investigators, using ballistics, have connected Abuku to incidents dating to at least December 27, when a 25-year-old was shot in the shoulder during a carjacking on Greenway Avenue in southwest Philadelphia. The man's Toyota RAV4 and a handgun were stolen, and the gun was later found in Abuku's apartment. It's the same one used in both murders with which he is charged, police said. Abuku was charged with receiving stolen property in the Greenway Avenue case. A week later, several men tried to take a Toyota Highlander from a man on the 8400 block of Lyons Place in southwest Philadelphia. One of them shot the 42-year-old driver in the leg as he tried to flee. Abuku is charged with aggravated assault in connection with that incident. He faces similar charges stemming from an incident a week later. On February 4th, on the 7600 block of Elmwood Avenue in Eastwick, a 45-year-old woman parked her Toyota RAV4 and was approached by three men who tried to grab her bag. When a man inside a nearby home opened the door, police said, the perpetrators shot at him, then fled in the Toyota. 2 days later, 60-year-old George Bracella was fatally shot on the 2100 block of Afton Street in Ronhurst. Three men ambushed him and stole his 2022 Toyota RAV4 around 8 p.m., police said, shooting him in the stomach. Bracella, a Marine Corps veteran and grandfather, was headed to his mother's home to use her printer, police said. Attempts to reach relatives for comment Tuesday were unsuccessful. Police found his vehicle in southwest Philadelphia around 7:30 a.m. on February 12. Less than 12 hours later, officers responding to a shooting on the 8100 block of Grovers Avenue found Aya Bessie dead with 3 gunshot wounds to the head. A witness told investigators the shooters fled in a white van. Minutes later and 3 blocks away, officers found a white van engulfed in flames. Investigators later learned it belonged to Bessie, Smith said, and they believe Abuku set it ablaze. Police sources said that Abuku and Bessie knew each other. Cell phone records suggest the two men were in contact minutes before the killing, according to court papers. Bessie's older brother, Francis Sanko, 32, said Bessie ran his business as a car locksmith in southwest Philadelphia, printing or programming keys. He said Bessie was extremely conscientious and had gone to technical school to learn his craft. Family members have been speculating about reasons he may have been killed, Sanko said, perhaps an argument over a specific job. But he did not believe Bessie was a part of the alleged carjacking operation. He's not the kind of person to ever interact with that kind of activity, Sanko said. Aya Bessie was fatally shot on February 12 in Eastwick. Philadelphia police said they believed he was killed by members of a suspected carjacking ring. Courtesy Francis Sanko. Sanko said his brother's wife and 11-year-old son had recently moved to Philadelphia from their native Sierra Leone and are devastated by his killing. Nobody deserved what happened to my younger brother, Sanko said. He has a son, and now the son is going to grow up without a father. Abuku has several past arrests, records show, including in Chester County in 2020 for charges that included robbing a car. But nearly all counts were dismissed in municipal court, the records show. It was not immediately clear why. Abuku pleaded guilty to a summary charge of harassment, the records show. Years before that, Abuku pleaded guilty to committing a 2013 aggravated assault in southwest Philadelphia. According to charging documents, he fired shots at someone in a car using a gun he was barred from possessing. He was sentenced to 38 to 96 months in jail plus 17 years of probation, court records show, and in 2018 was sent back to jail for violating his probation. In 2015, Abuku filed a federal lawsuit against the city, saying that a prison guard beat him and bit him on the head while he was handcuffed, an incident that was captured on surveillance video. The city settled with Abuku for $99,999, which was paid in November 2015.
Philadelphia on course to set a record for carjackings this year with nearly 200 reported just since January 1st. But this morning, there may be a big break, particularly in one that was deadly. A man who was shot and killed while visiting his mother in the Northeast earlier this month. Later this morning, city and federal officials are expected to announce the progress they've made in cracking down on this carjacking ring, as well as some others. Here's KYW City Hall Bureau Chief Pat Loeb.
The mayor, police commissioner, district attorney, U.S. attorney, FBI, and ATF are all expected at a news conference to announce that the person arrested on Sunday in the homicide of a 60-year-old man who was carjacked while visiting his mother in the Northeast is part of a larger operation that is also connected to another homicide in Eastwick. Eastwick 10 days ago. That's good news to Councilman Kenyatta Johnson, whose district includes Eastwick and has been plagued by the uptick in carjackings.
My constituents feel like there's a sense of lawlessness when it comes to public safety around the issues of carjacking. The bad guys just feel like they can just do whatever they want without being held accountable.
Johnson had previously scheduled a virtual town hall with Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw on the issue for this evening, and he's inviting anyone in the city to join the call. Details about how to dial in are on our website, kywnewsradio.com.